Hello, my name is Esther Apasidis and my business is called Energy Transformations. I am trained in the energy alignment method. It's a unique method that I apply to assist women in breaking the habit of being stuck in life. So I use it to eliminate fears, doubts and worries, specifically self-limiting beliefs such as not feeling good enough, worthy enough, being the perfectionist, and also helping them resolve indecision and getting more clarity in their life. So I'm going to share with you a presentation. It's called The Power of Three. So 3 techniques that you can apply day to day to help heal your life, to lift your energy, to be able to attract and to receive more abundance. I'm just going to switch to my slides. So the power of 3 to change your life. And that's myself. So is this you? Are you extremely stressed in a challenging, high performance work environment? Is there no or very little time for self-care? Are you overwhelmed with juggling multiple responsibilities across work and home life? And do you ever think that you never have enough time to finish a job to your complete satisfaction? Are there times when you feel inadequate, not good enough, unsure of yourself? And are you wondering, is this truly all there is to life? Then this is a great presentation for you. Sometimes we need to fall to rise. So a little bit about my own background. I struggled for very long to feel confident in my own skin and to feel truly good enough and valued. And this is even in management roles. So I'm a marketing professional by my training and education. I've worked in various different sectors, in industrial products, in software. I've run my own business. So I did try to escape the corporate world, went on maternity leave with my 3rd son, and that was back in 2010. So I opened up a coffee shop business, and I was just a mere 45 years of age, but I jumped onto a roller coaster of highs and lows. So I exposed myself to peaks of stress, working non-stop, exposed to relentless worry, resulting in hypothyroidism, which is what I was diagnosed with in 2014. That was after we branched out to a 2nd shop, which ended up being pretty traumatic. I lost pretty much £70,000 worth of my self-invested personal pension in it. And I also that year lost my mother to a long-term illness, but it had exacerbated the previous 2 years. So a combination of all that affected my health. And now that I understand more about energy, I know why. Because the physical body is the ultimate manifestation of something that's gone wrong in our energy. But my saving grace since then has been training in holistic therapies. So I've trained in massage, facial, holistic facials, and also in reflexology, and more recently facial reflexology and some facelift. And I've also trained in the energy alignment method. So I'll explain more about this method as we go through the slides. So the first power that we can access is the power of gratitude. This is the biggest key to unlocking more of what you desire, because it allows us to focus, on what we have rather than not what we haven't got as yet. So it is already an abundant energy. We already appreciate what we have. And we need to do this by expressing it daily, to getting into that energy of gratitude and appreciation. So gratitude acts as a magnet. So being in a state of gratitude does draw more positive things to us. It creates a flow of more good into your life. And ingratitude, conversely, stops the infinite flow of abundance and health. So the steps to being in a more grateful sort of state of mind and feeling is that we stop fault finding. We stop picking faults with our partner, with our family member, work colleague, our boss, our health, our house, the situation there, the lack or overload of work, or any aspect of our lives. We then become more conscious of our negative thoughts, words, and emotions. Now, the words also are self-directed words, not just words directed to others. So when we talk negatively to ourselves, we put ourselves down, we criticize ourselves, that is not a state of gratitude. So ask yourself if you can let go of these in the knowledge that they are harming your ability to become more abundant and more at ease. And observe daily your blessings, no matter how small or insignificant they seem. And appreciation is gratitude on steroids. Performing goodwill gestures or acts of kindness shows appreciation. So we can apply this to ourselves as well as others. And when we apply it to ourselves, this is what's called self-care. We start valuing ourselves. So when we attach that value to ourselves, we attract value back to us from others, and they start to appreciate us more. Kindness also produces serotonin, which is a happy hormone. It makes us feel better about ourselves. We become more peaceful and even blissful. So the steps to gratitude are to listen to the Deepak Chopra meditation. So I've gone through the 21 Days to Abundance series of meditation by Deepak Chopra, and this is just one of the days which really helps us. It's day 16. It connects us to the energy of gratitude. And then write a letter of thanks either to yourself for everything you have achieved to date, so giving yourself a pat on the back basically, or write a letter to someone who has been a big inspiration to you and has helped to support you in your time of need. You don't have to send this letter, but you can send it to that person if you like. And this is a nice quote: when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. So the power, the infinite source in the universe is the source of love, and it's the energy of love. So when we are more grateful, we appreciate more love. So more steps to gratitude. Buy a lovely notebook or journal and write between 5 and 10 gratitude statements in each day. For example, I'm grateful for fresh running water, for the air I breathe. Simple things like that. For my family, for food on the table, for chirping birds outside my window, singing their merry tune, for the sun and moon that give light to my world. So all these things, very simplistic. It doesn't have to be too much of the material thing. It can be just simply grateful just for being. And start Googling gratitude quotes on the internet and save your favorite and use them as screensavers for your phone or laptop or tablet. Print them out and pop them on your fridge, mirror, or on the wall by your bed, so that they are accessible and easy to read daily. So the more exposed you are to these positive gratitude statements, the more you align to that energy. And you can swap them out when you feel like you need a change, you want to freshen them up. So just one final point on gratitude. There is a book by Rhonda Byrne who wrote The Secret. It's called The Magic. And this is a powerful book because it'll give you 30 days of helpful inspiration on how to write gratitude statements and also to do a specific gratitude exercise. And it builds that muscle of being grateful. So number 2, the imagination. What we can conceive, we can achieve. So this is a famous quote from Napoleon Hill: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Unfortunately, our education system has robbed us of the power to imagine in a way. We were very good at it as young children, but with facts, science, figures, and our focus on the 3D world, our imagination becomes constricted and limited. We lose that gift. But quantum physics proves that we can think a new reality into being. So quantum physics is all about the 0-point field, the energy field. So everything exists before it becomes a material thing, before it becomes a subatomic particle. It exists in waveform. And that waveform can be translated into a physical reality just by the power of our thoughts, because we are observers in the quantum field. The power of our thoughts and the quality of our thoughts determine what happens. So this is in contrast to Newtonian physics, where it was very much, our reality was very much an objective construct. It was outside of our realm. It was something that happened to us. We were just pretty much victims. But quantum physics, pioneered by Max Planck, talks about this idea that we are co-creators. We create in this quantum field. We energize that wave form by the power of our thoughts. And then the more positive the thought, the more positive the reality that ensues. That wave becomes a physical thing. And this is when sort of like synchronicities happen, by being more powerful, more deliberately positive in our thoughts and our beliefs about ourselves, and then in the environment in which we live and the people we engage with. Suddenly things start gaining a positive momentum. We experience positive events, positive people entering our lives, positive occurrences. So imagination, we need to activate our theta waves to dream into existence a new reality. And Neville Goddard, back decades ago in the 50s, he talked about this. And a seer, or he was from North Africa, I think, this Abdullah influenced Neville Goddard and told him he had a powerful role to play in teaching the world the power of the imagination. And Neville Goddard called the imagination in us the God in man. This is literally our ability to connect with superhuman, superconscious self. So the benefits of theta wave brain activity includes relaxation of the mind, body, and reduction in stress, an increase in spiritual connection and empowered learning and improved problem solving. So there, I've linked to an article where you can discover more about this, rather than me just go on and on ad infinitum about the benefits of imagination. So we build a vision or dream, and this helps us in turn to motivate us. It stokes the fire in our belly. We are able to combat challenges and obstacles. We are more resilient. We align to powers of creation and manifesting when working with the universal laws. So specifically, we identify the law of vibration. This is when we get into a more positive arena of emotions, so high vibration emotions. And law of attraction, this links with quantum physics, that we can attract back in what we actually think and believe, and in concert with where we are on the emotional scale in terms of the law of vibration. And the law of karma, this idea of cause and effect, that what we put out there comes back to us. And you've heard it work against us if we always, my sister's a unique one, not a unique example. She is one of many types of people who believe it's better to always expect and think the worst, because then you're never let down or disappointed. But this is actually self-fulfilling, because when we start thinking negatively and expect the worst outcome from any situation or from any experience, then that will actually come to pass, knowing the power of our energy to create a new reality. So when bad things happen in threes and we think this, it will happen in threes. And if we can just flip that over, flip the coin and think on the positive side, only the good will come to me, and sure enough, only the good will happen to you. And the higher which we vibrate on the emotional scale, which I'll talk about in a moment, the quicker this we can manifest, and this will be attracted to us. So another method, so meditation underlines all these methods. Meditation is a key way of accessing our energy, the way we, and contemplating where we are. So another one from Deepak Chopra is all about activating our imagination and for, realizing our dreams and desires. Visualization meditations are great as well. And this one from Jess Shepherd is very, very powerful. It's about just under 20 minutes long, and it's worth listening to last thing at night before you go to sleep, just to sort of ignite that imagination. And so you need to, when you do visualizations, the important thing to consider is to mobilize all your senses. So particularly, the feeling of being in that situation as well, touching things in your dream that definitely bring it to life, and smelling it and seeing it and all the other things, and hearing it. So, when you hear the patter of rain or the whoosh of the sea on the seashore, all those things will help enliven that dream and that imagination. Then you can create also a vision board. Once you've done the visualization exercise a few times to get more strong in your vision, then you may want to do this. And there's a great free, you can only use it once, otherwise you have to start paying for it. But there's a free goal mapping tool by Brian Main, and I recommend you use it. There's a link there. You block your dream when you allow your fear to grow bigger than your faith. So it's all about trusting that things will happen if you stay in the positive and you still connect strongly to your dreams and desires. Because as soon as you let fear erode that positivity, then it will not manifest. You will not realize your dreams and desires. So then we move on to how to release the fear and align to belief and faith. And this is where the next solution unfolds. The energy alignment method, in which I'm trained as a mentor. It's a new holistic healing therapy that works with energy, and it works with the laws of the universe. And I put a link there to a document I've created that you can download, the primary 12 laws of the universe. It embraces quantum physics. We are all energy beings, part of this electron or quantum field or 0-point field. And it also works with Western neuroscience, that we can create new neural pathways. We can fire off new nerves and rewire them and refuse them. And then this is also about the mind-body connect. So it's not the Descartes dualism that the mind is separate from the body. It's very much what we think affects how we are feeling and what happens internally in our body. So when we have a healthy mindset, we have a higher emotion, energy point in our feelings, and we also are more energetically, more in flow, in balance with that energy in our body, and we're less likely to become ill, and we're more likely to live longer. And it also connects with Eastern healing philosophies, so the Chinese Qi and meridians, yin and yang energy, and also the Ayurvedic system, the Vedic system of chakras and the prana, healing breath. It's a 5-step practical method for tapping into your subconscious, or if you like, your higher self or source energy. And it's based on the fundamental truth that we are in charge of our reality, no one else. So we are response-able. So we are able to respond in the right way to what goes on in our lives. So how does EAM, or energy alignment method, work? So it uses the body sway as a biofeedback mechanism. So we use the body as a pendulum, basically. It's a form of applied kinesiology. So kinesiology is about muscle testing. So the body is used as a muscle in its entirety. It identifies if our energy is in flow, in resistance, or in reversal through this neuromuscular response. So what prevents us moving forward? Well, this is certainly not when we're in flow. So we're either in resistance when we are energetically stuck. We will repeat negative thoughts and patterns and behaviors. Our emotions keep us trapped in a negative vortex, experienced as one step forward and two steps back. Then we have more stagnant energy, or even more resistant energy, which is called an energy reversal. This is pretty much tantamount to Groundhog Day, when we're going through the same motions every single day. Nothing changes. And sometimes we feel as though we're going in the opposite direction to where we want to go. So pretty much deja vu, but with a real big negative spin on it. No change, even years on. The same experience, thoughts and outcome, but can be with different people and circumstances. So EAM takes us through 5 simple steps. So 1, we ask the sway. And it has to be a closed question that can give us a yes or no answer. So the second one is the answer. The body moves in and we get an answer to the question in step 1. Step 3, we experience. So we scope what's going on in terms of the resistance or the reversal. So we can do this if we're quite in a head energy, which a lot of us are when we're in the corporate world or exposed to that, and we're very analytical and strategic and methodical. Then sometimes we're not very well connected with our heart and emotions, or we're not connected on a visual based level. So we check in with the number of resistances. But if we are very much in tune or tapped into our feelings, we're more kinesthetic, we can actually find out, localize those feelings, how they present themselves in our body. Is it sort of like a heaviness? Is it a feeling of ickiness? And then the visual clues, if we're more used to sort of connecting to images. Is it sort of like an object? Does it have a color? Does it have a shape? Where does it reside in the body in terms of thinking of this issue? So then step 4 is transform. So we clear the resistance or reversal, whichever the case. And then step 5 is the manifestation part. So we align to positive or the highest emotion possible. And in doing this, we work on an emotional scale. So this is adapted from David Hawkins, Dr. David Hawkins. He wrote The Power versus Force. And the idea with the energy alignment method is to move up this scale from low frequency or slow vibration energy, or what we call resistant energy, to high frequency or vibration energy when we are in flow or in alignment. So there are varying degrees of resistance and alignment energy. So the sort of the least, the heaviest resistance resides in fear-based emotions, grief, depression, and feelings of feeling powerless. Then obviously the more milder forms of resistance are when we are irritated, we're frustrated, or even just bored. And then we move up into the positive area when we're just happy, content, and we're more optimistic. And then we can move up into, and the highest vibration that we try and connect to all the time is love, joy, or feeling empowered or feeling free. And some say there are higher energies than that. There are the energies of enlightenment, transcendental emotions. This is really more, literally, these old yogis used to be able to sort of step out of themselves and just be in the superconscious state, what's called the superconscious state. But in terms of, most of us are in this sort of range of energy from the low to the high in the physical realm. So the benefits of the energy alignment method are that it's non-invasive, it's drug-free, and it's highly effective. And it benefits all areas of your life across relationships, business and work, financial, health, and general well-being. And we can use it to deal with pain, phobias, fears, limiting beliefs, plus many stress-related diseases. Now, the emphasis is that it is a complementary therapy, so it's not for you to just dispense with any medication. If you are on medication to reduce stress or to depression or whatever, or any pain, but to actually do it in conjunction with, and then if you feel the benefits of EAM, just seems to lessen the effect on your body or your mind, and then you can just decrease the medication accordingly. But do this with caution and obviously with approval from your GP. So the physiological benefits of using the energy alignment method, that it creates a neural sync between the heart and brain. So this connection between these two powerful electromagnetic centers, and it changes the neural set points. So we can just create new thought patterns and wavelengths. And it changes these brain waves. It refires us neurologically. So we can move from negative thoughts to positive thoughts. There is this ability. And repetition creates new associations. So with the energy alignment method, there is a mantra that we do repeat, both in the releasing of any resistances and also in the alignment to higher positive, higher vibration energy. And then it reduces the adrenaline, and the cortisol levels in our body, and resolves the stress phase. It promotes healthy cell growth, improves energy exchange on a cellular level, and promotes healing. So it has literally anti-aging benefits. So once we clear because a lot of the negative thoughts and feelings, they actually inhibit our cells' ability to function well, and the mitochondria to release energy for the body, for the immune system to work better. So when we get the body more in flow, energy flow, we open up these energy channels to work more efficiently, then we do get the health benefits, and we also start looking younger. Literally, when we lift those resistant energies, our body lightens, because heavy energy, you've seen it when somebody's depressed and low, the whole body just drops down and our shoulders hunch. When we smile, when we're happy, our body is lifted. You see it physically as well. So this supports the mind-body synergy of the connect. So psychological benefits are that we feel positive for longer. So we're at a high emotional set point. We have greater stability in our mental and emotional state of being. We experience improved bounce back ability, so we're more resilient. We become more adaptive to change and more embracing of change, able to move forward with our life. Promotes cognitive shifts, and we don't have to relive the situation. With some of the other therapies, the talk therapies, we have to go into it and we have to re-experience it. With the energy alignment method, it is quite a detached way of dealing with the resistant energies and releasing them, the fears and the uncertainties and the worries. So we're better able to handle traumatic effects, and it is more empowering. It gives us empowerment. So why use the energy alignment method? To get clarity on an issue. If you've got a dilemma at the moment, you're not sure which fork in the road to take. So it helps with decision making, making the right choices at the right time, sort of in alignment with your energy. Once we get clear on once we clear the energy of any of the dross and we get in flow, then we can make the right informed choices. And using the energy alignment method, we can bypass the conscious mind, and we can get deep into the subconscious and access that information and our intuition and connect to the 0 point field. So also the energy alignment method builds confidence and conviction. So just tapping into that. So the subconscious, just a brief talk on the subconscious and why it's important that we dive deep into that, because the subconscious is the area which creates the habits. It's not, so it focuses on efficiency and protection. So the two combined actually can be our undoing. By the mere fact that it wants to protect us, it keeps us in our comfort, our safe zone, because it says the world out there is dangerous, we might get harmed. So it's a fear-based brain energy. But also in conjunction, it wants to be efficient. So it obviously regulates all our autonomic functions in our bodies, our heart rate, our breathing, and so forth, and our immune system. But it also is the power of our imagination, our creative thinking. So when we can get rid of all the, so the efficiency side is it creates habits. So when it's based on fear, protection, and creates habits, it creates fear-based habits, and that's the problem. So we want to release the fear so that we can tap into the more positive parts of the subconscious mind, the creative, the imagination. We can't do that when we're always thinking in negative ways or feeling negative, having these negative emotions connected with these negative thoughts. So moving on to the energy alignment method, coming back to the EAM, or how this helps with the subconscious. So we use the sway. So this is the body as a pendulum. So we need to be in the right space to do this at work, this exercise. So we need to have a good, healthy diet, be well hydrated. So when I do an energy alignment session with a client, I make sure that we have water to hand. So we need to, and we also need to be rested, because we start off using the sway in a standing, in a place of standing. So we stand with our, I'll talk about it, with our legs hip width apart and our arms down by our side and our knees unlocked, and we're in a relaxed position. We also need to make sure we're in the right environment, so no switch off sort of distracting devices such as phones, iPhones or smartphones, and also to check that we're in a good personal hygiene, place of good personal hygiene. We remain objective, so remain detached from the outcome. So we try not to influence or control it. And I've often had people say, well, how can, you know, what if your brain takes over and you try and sort of push? I said it doesn't, no. Because what we tend to do is to relax and take us out of the head. We do some deep breathing exercises and connect to the heart energy. And then the sway usually does start to work. The only time when it doesn't work is when we're actually in reversal, and then we can quickly release that using the sway method. But you do need to be specific in the questions that you ask. So we avoid should, and we also don't ask multiple questions at once. We only do one at a time with a clear yes, no answer. So we get clear on whether or not it is a belief or a fact. So we adopt the right stance. So as I said, I mentioned the body posture, to be relaxed and at ease, and be calm of mind. We do that through, we calm the mind through breathing. And we trust the sway, so we don't second guess it. It does work. So we can start testing the sway by asking, is my name, and give your name. So it should pull, that you feel a pull either in the heart space or in the solar plexus, or in the deep in the bed, or behind the belly button. Sometimes depends. All these areas, these chakras, so heart, solar plexus, or the sacral chakra, you can feel a pull, and this will, and it'll either be a sort of lurch backwards or pull backwards, tilt backwards. It could be just a small tilt, or it could be more of a big pull. So it'll either go backwards or forwards. So if you know, you identify with your name and don't have any issues with your name, you should get a forward sway to give which indicates a yes. But if you find that your body doesn't respond clearly, then if it goes backward, goes in circles, or is non-moving on your own name, means we're either too much in the head energy. So we counter this with breathing in space. We do 3 deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth, and believing the breath drawing into your heart space each time, and then, or we could have an energy reversal, as I said before, which we can release in the same way as we do a resistance in our energy, and more on that in a moment. So we can do a practical exercise. Once we've identified the sway, we can then check in and find out what our biggest challenge You know, first of all, we do the thinking around this. What is my, or the feeling? How am I feeling at the moment? What is my biggest challenge? What am I fearing the most? What am I worrying about the most at this point in time? So what is the one thing that keeps you awake at night? What is the one issue currently in your life that your mind goes into a spin over? What drains you at the moment? What drains your energy? Write down the answer on the fears sheet, worksheet provided. So I give you a list of fears, basic fears, and you can add or tick them off as you see fit. So there will be a link to that in the below this video. So we ask this way. So we ask, do I have a fear of, or is this my biggest issue right now? And you get a response. So, and if it's not a yes response, then you identify something else. You investigate and ask the question. You keep asking the questions until you get a yes. And you check with the sway if you can release this right now, because sometimes you're not ready to release yet. And step 3, then once we're ready to release, and the sway says yes to the question and we're ready to release it, yes, then we can just scale it or experience it. So do you see it as a picture or an object? Describe it as vividly as you can. Or do you feel it anywhere in your body? Is it heaviness? Is it a constriction anywhere? Is it making you dizzy, sick, or causing your heart to beat faster? A race. If you can't see or feel it, test a number. So number of resistant feelings or resistances in your energy when you think about whatever it is, X. Pick a random number and check it with the sway. Is it higher or lower? Keep zooming in until the number is exact or close to exact. So you can start off by saying, do I have more than 50 resistances in my energy when I think about making a decision on X? And then you just check in with the sway. If it's yes, it sways forward. Then you say, you just jump up another 50, say, for example, do I have more than 100 resistances in my energy when I think about X? Or when I'm, in regard to this question or in regard to this issue. And then if it's a no, then you know it's somewhere between 50 and 100. And then, or if it's more, you just keep going up in jumps, 50 or 100. If it sort of feels really heavy, if you start feeling it in your energy and it's really sort of, or it's been on your mind for so long and you can't, it's heavy, it's dense, then you know, or it's very stagnant energy, then you can just start jumping in. Is it more than 500? Is it more than 1,000? Believe you me, we can go into the millions on this, depending on how long it's been there, because a lot of energy is not just of our own making. It gets passed on to us from generation to generation. And this is often the energy of self-doubt, self-worth that women in particular experience, because for centuries we have been seen as the inferior sex. We have to do more than our male counterpart to prove ourselves. And that's been passed on from parent to parent, from mother to mother, to child, and then it becomes the mother to their own child, and so on. And it is perpetuated, and it becomes very layered, heavy energy. So that's the reason why it becomes very stagnant energy and difficult to shift. So as I say, we can just keep going with the numbers, and then we can just say, we can be exact. I mean, with the energy alignment, we can get very exact. But if you've done it, you've been going well up into the numbers, sometimes you can just come to around about this number, and then you start releasing. And then once you start releasing, sometimes it doesn't all go in one go, and you might have to come back to it, or you can do some more releasing work, and then find out where the numbers come down to, and then just carry on doing the mantras. We'll talk you through it in a moment. So this is the mantra on releasing and also aligning. So I am ready to release this image, if it's a visual thing, clue, a feeling, this fear or this worry or this anxiety, this or number of resistance or 50 resistance in connection with or in relation to, and insert your issue or your challenge, your fear or your problem. From my energy, and this is key, from my energy in all forms, on all levels, and at all points in time. So in all forms, so energy resides in our head, in our heart, and so it is a mental thing, as an emotional thing, in just a nebulous energetic form, or is a physical symptom in our physical body. So this is in all forms, on all levels. Now, all levels relates to our aura, energy aura. So there are 4 earthly layers to our aura, and also then the more out of our earthly area becomes then the astral, divine, and celestial. But these are literally, there are about 7 layers to our aura, but the 4 earthly ones are our mental, going from the outside in, mental, our emotional, our etheric. Well, the etheric is more or less like a blueprint of our physical body. So it's like the fascia and the muscles. So the etheric and then the physical. So when all the bad stuff starts coming through from the mental to the feelings, that's why feelings are quite key in affecting our body, and then kind of permeate through to the etheric and then right to the physical. That's why the physical body is literally the last resort in terms of negativity. So that's when we start experiencing what's wrong in our energy. We experience it as a physical ailment, and then it intensifies the more we hang on to this resistant energy, and we become very sick indeed and could eventually die. So it's the body is communicating with us. It's crying out, saying, you've been in this stress phase too long with these resistant fears, worries, anxieties that have come through the mental, the emotional and etheric layers and have hit the body. So there is power in repetition. So that's why we repeat that statement twice. So 3 times in all as a minimum. So then you do a check-in with the sway to see if it's released. But if it hasn't released, then we check how many more times we have to repeat that step 4, that mantra, and then we release again until it's all gone. Or we sometimes check in with this way, can I release this all now, right now? And it may be that your energy's just gone too low, you've done too much work, you're tired or whatever, then you just leave it be and you come back to it when you're a bit fresh again, when you're more fresh. And the step 5, the final step in EAM is the manifestation or alignment step. So we try and connect to high vibration energy. So the energy of love, joy and abundance and feeling powerful. So I'm ready to welcome or allow freedom, joy and love. I've asterisks that I mentioned that a minute, into my energy in all forms, on all levels and at all points in time. And I forgot to mention the significance of the all points in time. So I've talked about all forms, all levels, but at all points in time, because I didn't directly refer to this before, that energy is passed on to us. If it's resistant energy, it can get passed on to us from previous generations, and we can pass that also on to our offspring. So the point when we're doing the releasing work and the manifestation work, we're not only releasing it from the past, we're releasing it from passing it on into the future, and we're also aligned to more positive energy. So that when we're more in alignment, we pass that positive aligned energy onto our offspring. So again, repetition is key. So with the releasing steps, we do 3 times minimum. We do it again with the manifestation and the alignment step 3 times. So I put an asterisk on love. So, or these are high vibration emotions. So we want to be on the top end of the emotional scale. And then if we can inject even more sparkle into it and add really great adjectives, sort of like really powerful adjectives to experience that high emotion, that would be more magical. So we want to be able to counter the negative emotion or experience. So I welcome this with love, sparkle, energetic enthusiasm, feeling empowered, liberated, and all that. You want to welcome that into your energy in all forms, on all levels, at all points in time, in connection with this issue. So there are some daily tips for staying in flow. So the first thing is to be aware. Become aware when you feel out of sorts. And then you check in with the sway, what resistances there are. Where do you feel it? How does it present? Can you do any, you can do this sway, this EAM technique anytime, anywhere. That's the beauty of it, and not having a chain pendulum or any other system. Or anybody else, you can, it's self-guided, and it relies on your whole body as a biofeedback mechanism. And it can be just subtle. You can do it in a supermarket, you can do it anywhere. When anybody has really got on your nerves, or somebody, you know, condemned you, or we've had an argument with somebody, just to diffuse the situation, you just walk away and just say, I release this anger in connection with this person or with this decision. I release it from my energy in all forms and all levels at all points in time. And you repeat that a couple more times. And it's amazing, the sense of calm and ease that pervades you once you do that. And then you align to feeling, you welcome in peace and non-judgment. Well, we don't want to use any non-words, actually, any negative words. So we align to peace, confidence, joy, and bliss into our energy in all forms and all levels and points in time. So yeah, so we do the releasing, whatever comes up, and then we align to that positive energy and be just vivid and descriptive with your adjectives and nouns. So the art of manifesting is not a skill taught in schools or education system or by our parents, but it can be. There's no reason why we shouldn't introduce it or come back to that idea of believing before we see it. We need to think it, visualize it, feel it. And kids are great at manifesting, but we lose the wonder of magic, imagination and creation at an early age. We create a vision and align our thoughts, emotions and energy to that. We give it our focus, our attention, in other words, and our intention, our energy. And then when we do that, it creates it. Meditation practice does help us in this. The speed of manifesting depends on vibration level. So this is what most people forget with the law of attraction or affirmations. They think they can just say it and expect it, but it doesn't. But when we actually have conflicting feelings or thoughts, when we feel that reality, that dream reality, is so far removed from where we are now, that's when the disconnect, the dissonance happens, and it becomes difficult to create that. So the more we can do to tune up our energy, to get more into a high vibrational state using the power of EAM, we become more powerful, more creative, more able to manifest. We become a super manifester, basically. So we have less resistance. We're in more inflow energy, high vibration energy. So as I say, the affirmations then work better. The imagination works better once we release all the resistance and become more calm in our energy and more confident and more aligned to love, joy and freedom. So that concludes the Power 3 to change your life. And I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for taking the time to listen to this. And please do follow the practices that I've given you and listen in, tune into the meditations, do the exercises as and when you can. Don't be bound to do this religiously, but it is good from a subconscious point of view. It's good to create these positive habits, because then we can defeat and counter the negative ones in our lives. So I'm just going to come back to my screen. So, as I say, thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions on the content of this presentation or about the energy alignment method, and I will give a link to my website so you can find out more about me, about what I offer my clients. There is a sample session or a taster session you can access, and I'll put that link in there as well. And please feel to reach out if you've got any questions, if you've tried any of the exercises and you've come a cropper and you've struggled with any of them, then I'm here to help. I really do wish to help you. So as I say, feel free to reach out and connect whenever, and I will help you. Thank you.